NCAA Softball Championship Lafayette Regional. This is the Game 3 post-game press conference. The Louisiana Lafayette Raging Cajuns defeated the Texas Longhorns 3-2 to advance to the regional championship game. We have here head coach Michael Lotief, sophomore Sarah Corbello, and senior Shelby Redfern. We're going to start off with a brief opening statement from Coach Lotief and then questions for student athletes only. So, Coach, why don't you go ahead?
I'm proud of my kids. That's been the way that they've played all year. They never quit fighting. They never quit believing in each other. They always seem, when their backs are against the wall, that they find a way to keep fighting. Going into the last inning, that's what they said when they got in the huddle. We're right where we want to be. We've been here before. They felt comfortable. They felt confident. And again, our crowd and our fans energized us, stood behind us. I thought Texas played a hell of a game. That's what it was billed as. Two heavyweights going at each other. And I'm just proud of my kids for finding a way, staying at it. I'm proud of this fan base for believing in us and believing in these kids. And now we got to go get some rest and see what tomorrow brings. I'm sure more drama.
Questions for student athletes only. Please raise your hand for the microphone and state your name and affiliation before asking the question.
Kevin Foote, Lafayette Daily Advertiser. Each one of y'all, will start with Shelby and then Sarah. Y'all both had big at-bats in the last inning. She showed the changeup a lot yesterday against Mississippi State and periodically through y'all game. Just talk about kind of at-bat and fouling off pitches and kind of thinking about when is that changeup coming.
Right, well, you guys probably get tired of hearing us say that we're a team full of fighters, but we are, and, we take it one pitch at a time, and, we know what she had, and we knew kind of when she would throw it, and, we were expecting it, and just trying to fight off pitches and look for what we wanted and going after it.
I think, she showed it often, sometimes for a strike, sometimes not, but, Shelby's at-bat was huge. She got the changeup for a strike, and she hit it, and that's what we needed her to do. So, her changeup kept us off balance, but it wasn't anything we couldn't handle.
Tell us about what are you thinking coming to the plate? You've been struggling, like a lot of the girls went through stretches in the season this year when they struggled, and here you are with not the season on the line, but the biggest moment at this point in the season. You're coming to the plate, the bases are loaded. Just kind of tell us about what you're thinking.
I knew she was going to throw me something to hit, and all I had to do was hit a fly ball to the outfield to score that run. But once it got to full count, she got me with the rise ball earlier in the game with full count, and I knew it was coming. I was like, well, I'm just going to see what happens. If it's not a rise ball, then I'll just pull it off.
BJ Thompson with Scout.com. Shelby, the way she was pitching, it looks like at your bat, at that point, you decided to try to maybe where she was pitching the ball and placing it and hitting the plate, you were trying to take her the opposite field. Is that what you were trying to do? Just try to make contact and take her the opposite field?
Well, at that point, we didn't have any outs, and the bases were loaded, and, we didn't need a big home run. We just needed a base hit. I needed to do something to extend the inning, and I just tried to hit the ball where it was pitched, and that's what we focus on at the plate, when we have runners in scoring position, not to get the big swing, but just to extend the inning and move them over and work with the outs that we have.
George Faust, Kalen Fly. Ladies, now you're where you expected to be. Can you talk about what you're looking forward to tomorrow and how you keep your mind fresh and ready to go for that big game?
That was a great game. Texas came out and, they came out strong, and it was a good game. We fought back and forth, and, you have to give them props. And, we don't know who we'll face tomorrow. We'll take it one game at a time, just see who we end up facing. But once we find that out, we just need to, start focusing on that, focusing on what we need to work on, and do our game, just play how we play and take it one pitch at a time.
I mean, with this team, I don't think it really matters who we play, Like he says all the time, it's a little softball, a little bat, and a little glove. The ball doesn't know who's pitching, the ball doesn't know who's hitting, so we just take it pitch by pitch and go from there.
Dave. Dave, 1037 the game. What about the catch in left field? How much momentum did that give you in the top half of the seventh inning?
Kendall's catch was huge. I mean, she does it all the time in practice, so for us it really wasn't that big of a surprise, but the fans go crazy and that helps a lot too.
We needed that momentum to carry us on to offense, and Kendall did a great job out there, and she really got us going with our at bats that just started the whole inning.
Bobby Ardoin, Baton Rouge Advocate. Sarah, on that last pitch, ball four pitch, was it a rise, was it a change, or what?
It was a rise ball.
Is that what you were thinking it was going to be, or?
Kind of had a pretty good idea. I mean, she got me on that my first at bat. She struck me out with a full count and went in the dugout and looked at everybody, and I was like, well, that was ball four. So kind of felt it coming, the last at bat.
Any more questions for the student athletes? Okay, ladies, thank you very much. Coach Lateef, why don't you stick around for a few more questions? All right, so questions for Coach Lateef.
Kevin Foote, Lafayette Advertiser. So tell us about how tricky sending or not sending runners and communicating with runners in tough situations. I mean, especially with no outs. I mean, it worked out, but it was that's a tough situation.
Well, after the fact, it's a tough situation, but if you send, you have to make a decision in real time. It's something we work on every day. And Washington has one of the best arms in the country. When she fielded the ball, Samantha was still, first of all, on the hit, she hesitated. She did. She didn't break cleanly on the hit. She hesitated. Ball gets into the gap. When the ball gets to her glove, Samantha's still two steps on the other side of the bag. I mean, if you know that the only way she's going to be safe in that situation is, and the only way you send her is if you believe that the defense is going to make an error. I stand by it. It was the right decision. If I had to do it again, I'd stop her again. And everybody's going to say, well, Kelsey struggled and Sarah struggled, and well, we've been talking about that since the first week of the season. If you start coaching and you don't trust your players, then that's not a good thing. I stopped her because I trusted that one of those kids was going to get it done behind her.
I think most people had the impression that you were angry that she didn't run, so that wasn't the situation. You stopped both of them.
The first one I said, and the second one I stopped. I said,
Cassidy.
yeah, Cassidy White. But that's all right. She, that was a tie run, but that's what you want in that situation. You planned to get it tied up. And on that read, she read it clearly. She read the ball on the shortstop's head. She got a clean break. When she got to the bag, she was two steps on this side. There was a soft floater out to her, so she was fielding it definitely right behind it and coming through it. Her arm is not as good as Washington's. We got the scout report on that, and White has better speed than Vols. I mean, that's why we use her in that situation. I was ready to gamble right there. And you know what? This is a precursor. The season is going to continue or end on some dramatic play. on a pitch, a dramatic at bat, a decision, and we we trust each other in that locker room. We trust each other. I'm not a perfect coach, and they're not perfect players. They trust me. I trust them. Kelsey earlier in the game, had that rough play, and she had some rough shit. You just got to stand behind people. You have a lot of people tuning in for the first time. They're getting their first taste of this team, and it's just like the Super Bowl. If you watch the Super Bowl this year and you watch Peyton Manning play, you'd say he's horrible. If you follow this team the whole year, then you know how special those kids are, and you know how we operate. So the criticism is not going to bother us because we've been at this since August together. We know how we play, we know how we prepare, we know what we do. You take a snapshot and you see this team and you wonder, and why, and, well, this is how we play. This is how we play. And this is what's gotten us to this point.
Jay Thompson, Scout.com. Coach, you often talk about the crowd energizing players, and it seems like it worked both ways today at several, especially at the end of the game, last inning and a half. Shelby gets the first you have Kendall's catch, and that just really, I think, ending the inning was huge, and you could just feel the momentum, a little bit of momentum there. And then Shelby getting up there and staying alive and fighting off pitch after pitch, and then getting that base hit. And it seemed like not only did the crowd energize the players, but the players, those two big players, and amongst others, energize the crowd.
About the fifth inning, you could see this. You could see the stage being set for this. I mean, you could see that it was setting up for the heart of the lineup, get one more shot at her. And she threw 157 pitches. It's a lot of pitches. She threw 157 pitches. Our kids grinding it out. Elkin, again, who else would you want to start off an inning other than Elkins? She has struggled, but she had a great at bat to lead off the inning. Shelley has been seeing the ball well. Had some clutch at bats. I forgot about Walsh. Walsh has been seeing the ball well, clutch at bat. Shelley, and then that's all about Shelby. That was like a fun at bat for her, and I'm so proud of the way she just battled. And sometimes in that situation, you get your adrenaline going too much. That's sometimes her case. And she just kept taking a deep breath, and that kid threw her everything. She saw the drop curve, she saw the screw, she saw the rise, she saw the change, she saw the drop. How many pitches in that at bat? That was what, a 10, 11, 12 pitch at bat. And she was down early. I mean, she was behind in the count right from the beginning. And to watch the way that kid battled and to watch the way that kid competed and fought was really amazing. And I thought the catch going into the inning was big. I thought that Kendall did a good job reading the ball off the bat and making a good play. Going into that inning down one is huge. And then the last comment that you alluded to, our fan base never stops believing in those kids. I mean, they've been with us the whole year. They knew at the beginning of this year when we started and we played Texas, and they beat us here. Right? They beat us here initially. That fan base was here and they were believing. It's not like they just showed up because we're hosting a regional. They were there in force for that tournament, and they knew that we were rebuilding, and they knew that this team was young, and they stood behind them from the beginning.
Coach John Michael, The Independent. Davis yesterday used her change as an out pitch. I think she had 5 strikeouts with the change pitch. How did you prepare your team for facing her changeup?
Well, we prepare since the fall I mean, most elite pitchers are able to change speeds and move the ball in and out. So if you're going to be an elite hitter in this game, you have to be able to make those kind of adjustments. Our was a different kind of change because it was a flip, and it was also a little slower. It also had a bigger hump on it, but we got to see her earlier in the year. You know, we faced her back at the beginning of the season, so our kids had seen her up close and in person. And I think we learned from that experience. I think that our kids understood what they were facing. I thought she was lights out. I thought the kid really threw a great game and kept her composure the entire time. I think she did a good job with her command. Really, it's a shame that the game ends on a walk-off walk because she did have command. She walked 6, but she threw 157 pitches and 86 were strikes in a tight zone. I thought she threw the ball well. And on the flip side, I thought our kids had great at-bats. And I thought we extended her. I thought they were true to what they were looking for when they were at the plate. And I thought when they got behind, that they were able to fight off some pitches and extend the at-bat. So it's just a well-played softball game on both ends, in my judgment.
Take 2 more questions. First one here.
Coach George Faust, Fly. Talk about now you're in the position you want to be in, and just how you approach the championship game.
I mean, we're exactly where we want to be. But in the same breath, the tournament's a long way from being over. Just got to go home and rest and get off our feet and relax and get ready for another war. When you put teams backs against the wall, and especially with females, they understand this is it. A lot of teams their season is starting to end, that those kids are going to stand and fight. And it's not about wondering or losers bragging. I mean, you stand and fight, and you stand and fight for each other. And I think you have worthy opponents here that are going to stand and fight. And I think our team understands what we have to do to close it out. But I look for a lot of drama. I look for more drama, and that's the way we played all year. I mean, we don't do nothing easy.
One more question.
Bobby Ardoin, the Advocate. Talk a little about Christina's game today.
I thought Christina, that's one of her finest games. I thought Christina did a good job. Hamilton has faced Texas twice last year, I think. It hasn't been a good matchup for her. Tom has had some good at-bats against Hamilton, too, if you go back and take a look at that. But I thought what she did today, she didn't necessarily just pitch to her strengths as much as she trusted the plan. And I thought she was confident, and I thought she was aggressive, and I thought she stayed in charge the entire game. I thought she did a great job of mixing her pitches, and that's one of her biggest games in a big moment and on a big stage. Very proud of Christina. Very proud of the way that she performed today. I'm proud of the way her team played behind her.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, Coach.
Yep, that's it.